2 weeks ago, I woke up thinking that Vechain was just another coin lost in the crypto noise. And then I saw Sunny Lu on stage talking about tokenizing human behavior, and my jaw actually cracked a little from dropping so hard. Right now, I knew I had to chase this rabbit right down that blockchain hole, because if you can literally turn my recycling habits into on-chain value, that changes everything about how we actually live, shop, and invest. Now it might just shock you, but I am not a financial advisor and nothing in this video is financial advice. Cryptocurrencies are highly volatile and you could lose all the money that you invest. You should always do your own research and consult a qualified professional. Your investments are entirely your responsibility, and you should know that nothing is ever guaranteed when it comes to investing. Neither I, this channel, nor YouTube are liable for any losses, and this video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Okay, so the legal force field deployed. Now let me tell you guys about why the Toronto Air at the Consensus 2025 felt like the moment the smartphones first got the kind of internet. Now, I was there for the free coffee and the kind of a badge flex, if you will, but Sunny Lu hijacked my attention span in under 30 seconds. Now, he said, we're not just tokenizing big assets, we're tokenizing the invisible ones that didn't have market value before. So my brain instantly kind of pinged, wait, you mean my daily bike ride to work, could be listed on a digital balance sheet next to Bitcoin and Apple stock? So I cornered 3 developers at Vechain's booth, and they kind of walked me through their kind of VeBetterDAO app like they were kind of planning a kind of heist. So picture this, right? You scan a QR code on the recycling bin at your office. You drop in your soda can and boom, proof of the planet kind of love kind of gets minted as a tiny token in your wallet. There's no gas fee nightmare. There's no 12-word seed phrase to kind of babysit. They just kind of flash a beta of their AI assistant called BMO. Yes, like the kind of cute console from Adventure Time. BMO whispers in plain English, hey Nick, you drove the EV 4 times this week, stack those miles and B3TR, rewards, and maybe plant a tree while you're at it. And that's kind of when the problem slapped me, right? Normal people, right, my parents, for example, they still think crypto is either magic internet casino chips or a hacker's retirement plan. Now, if we can't lower the barrier between grandma and the blockchain, well, the green dream dies in the echo chamber. So what's Vechain's answer here? Well, you log in with your Google or, get this, your Tesla account, and let BMO handle the wallet gymnastics behind the curtain. So there's no more telling your uncle to copy that long string of gobbledygoosh, just click continue with Gmail. Now, Sunny called this the Renaissance Initiative, which honestly sounds like a Da Vinci, exhibit, but stay with me here, right? Phase 1, you've got the Galactica, right? Already kind of flipped the switch back in March. You've got Ethereum Shanghai compatibility, transparent clauses, dynamic fees, typed transactions. And the translation of all of that is that basically it's cheaper, it's smoother, it's safer, and then you move on to phase 2. That is kind of the you got the Hayabusa goes live on July 1st, and that kind of lets any vet holder, meeting the stake threshold, spin up a node. So in kind of plain speech, you can, and I, of course, can now guard the network instead of just watching whales do all the heavy lifting for us. And right there, my inner kind of decentralization nerd did the kind of, Carlton dance, if you're familiar. But here is where the stats hit harder than a kind of triple espresso. Now, according to Vechain's own dashboard, the Galactica testnet, processed over 2 million transactions in the first month, with average fees of under 1/10 of a cent. Now, if you compare that to Ethereum's average, hovering around $2 and some change, that very same week, and you kind of see why big brands are flirting with Vechain like it's kind of prom night. Supply chain giants already embedded VET for their provenance, and I should say, but the sustainability angle does open up 10 times bigger doors, right? Think fashion labels earning loyalty tokens for using recycling cotton, or airlines rewarding passengers for carbon offset choices. Now, by the way, if you want to kind of geek out over these numbers in real time, you'll need to hop into our free educational Discord. There's a link in the description down below. We've got a Vechain tracker channel where I drop fresh dashboards and the community kind of, fact checks kind of my wild optimism, if you will. No, it's totally free. It's zero paywalls there. Just kind of bring good vibes and an open mind. But of course, if you want to expand it, there's also membership options as well. All the details are found in the Discord. Now, anytime that you mention carbon credits on crypto Twitter, at least 5 trolls scream greenwashing, and I grilled a Vechain engineer on how they actually stop companies from fake eco points like that. So the answer is tokenizing the process and the impact separately. So step 1, you mint a token every time that the recycling line scans your bottle, right? Step 2, mint another only when the accredited verifier logs actually at least reduce the emissions, right? So there's 2 tokens, 2 verifiable trails, all on chain, where fake data is like photoshopping the Mona Lisa under the stadium lights. Now you can cue the climax of my kind of Toronto trip here. It's day 2. I'm nursing the last caffeinated beverage, and Vechain announces BMO will launch cross-platform this summer with voice commands. So imagine telling your phone, hey, BMO, show me how weekly carbon, at least my weekly carbon score. And the screen pops up with a dashboard that would kind of make Fitbit jealous. Now they demoed it live, right? The test user earned 42 B3TR tokens by biking, planting 3.6 virtual trees, and here's a plot twist, swapped half of the rewards on a DEX for a limited edition digital artwork that funds real-world rainforest projects. Now, my cynical side tried to kind of poke holes in this, but the UX was so slick that I could practically hear MetaMask's sobbing in the background. Still, a challenge lurks in the shadows, and that is liquidity. Right? All 3 micro rewards mean nothing if you can't trade them for something tangible. So enter the Blofin crypto exchange. Here's a quick heads up, guys, right? The Blofin link in the description down below is an affiliate link that supports the channel and keeps my caffeine meter full. Now, Blofin's listing pipeline already greenlit VeBetterDAO's B3TR token for Q3. Now that matters because instead, instant kind of fiat ramps, they convert, feel-good karma points into, well, rent money. So maybe you'll just hodl them. They're like kind of Pokemon cards of environmental kind of virtue. Now, either way, of course, liquidity, it is a lifeblood. Okay, so let's zoom out here. The World Economic Forum. Blasphemy to even mention that on a video like this, but here we are. Bear with me. They are saying that digitalizing supply chain data could actually slash global emissions by 10% by 2030. Now that's roughly 5 gigatons, or enough CO2 to fill 2 billion Olympic swimming pools. Now, if Vechain, secures even just 1% of that pie, well, we're talking about securing value in the tens of billions of dollars, not counting the kind of reputational kind of halo that companies get for, well, joining. Now, you, of course, know the kind of street loves a shiny new kind of ESG narrative almost as much as quarterly profits, right? Now, another stat that Sunny dropped is that there are 1.1 billion vehicles on Earth, right? but fewer than 40 million of them are electric. So what if every new EV instantly kind of started earning B3TR tokens just for existing in the garage? Well, that incentive kind of flips the moral brownie points to a literal trackable revenue stream then. So let's look at Tesla's supercharger credits, right? They've proved that people love digital extras. Plug Vechain under the hood and you kind of gamify the race to kind of decarbonize. But let's be real, tokenizing human behavior sounds utopian until the UX hits real world kind of friction. Now, I once tried teaching my mum how to claim an airdrop, and she exited the lesson faster than a cat avoids bathwater. Now, Vechain's kind of bet on AI and single sign-on is a giant leap, but adoption still hinges on mainstream trust. So remember when Apple Pay first asked you to scan your credit card? Kind of felt weird, right? Then it was a second nature within a few months. Now that's the curve that Vechain must climb here. Now as a side note, if you're still thinking, this is a cool story, Nick, but where's my upside? So let me paint a little scenario for you, right? Suppose Vechain's kind of Hayabusa upgrade, triples network throughput while slashing fees under 50%, right? Brands jump on board, node rewards rise, and suddenly VET's staking yield beast, kind of beats your high interest savings account. No guarantees again, rewind to the disclaimer at the beginning here, but the risk reward math, at least according to Sunny Lu, starts looking a little bit spicy. And before the kind of penance kind of lights up the kind of comment section here, yes, Ethereum is rolling out the dank sharding. Yes, Solana can allegedly handle 50,000 TPS on a good day, if they can keep the lights on, that is. But neither is specialized in ESG data and supply chain NFTs quite like Vechain is, which kind of baked this niche into its DNA back when the kind of fidget spinners were still a thing, if you remember that. So let me land this plane with a personal takeaway then, right? I went to Consensus expecting another round of crypto fixes everything kind of bingo. But instead, I left kind of believing that Vechain might have cracked the code on making blockchain feel like a rewards card instead of rocket science. When the invisible kind of artifacts of your, or at least our, daily grind, like bike rides, recycled bottles, electric miles, become digital kind of building blocks of value, well, we start redefining wealth in itself. And it's not just, who has the fastest wallet, it's who has the cleanest footprint and the most verified public good tokens to actually show for it. Now I know your next question is, what's next? And I'm kind of setting a reminder for July 1st to spin up my own kind of node. Now, if you want to follow the adventure, jump into the Discord server. We'll try to do it live if we can, step by step, glitches and all. And keep an eye on that Blofin link, right? For the B3TR token. Again, it's an affiliate link, so it helps keep the channel alive, it pays for the coffee, and transparency here is king, so some jurisdictions are not allowed. If you click the link and it doesn't take you to Blofin, well, unfortunately, you're in a jurisdiction that just doesn't want you playing with crypto. So here's a big picture, right? Whether Vechain moons or muddles, it's pioneering a blueprint for tokenizing the unnoticed. Our everyday choices could soon be tradable as stocks, as kind of brag-worthy as NFTs, and as visible as the steps on your smartwatch. Now that's a future worth testing, poking at, and yes, maybe even investing in once you've done your own homework.